Hello, Baker. Welcome back to the COVID-19 update, March 18th, 2020. And I have to put the dates in there because the information changes so fast. And understand that all the information that we're putting out is fluid. When I mean fluid, that it's moving, it's changing. And then we are taking advice. We're taking the advice of the medical community. We are following the leadership of the governor. We're following the leadership of the mayor president as we put these things out to you. But today, I'm talking to you on a personal note. I want to be informal with this because I want you to know that we have an opportunity here to help this whole situation out. So let's start, just go right to the point now and start talking about when we're talking about high-risk people. The medical community talks about high-risk people, grandparents, elders, people basically over 60 years of age that they say are people with low immune systems. And so what is a low immune system? It's a state in which the immune system's ability to fight infectious disease and cancer is compromised. Or persons with diabetes, respiratory conditions, heart disease, cardiovascular disease, or two or more chronic conditions. That's high-risk people. That's a lot of people that you know. That's a lot of people that I know. And so here's the deal. You may be feeling well, and you may be a carrier with the disease. You do not want to be carrying this to your high-risk people in your family. That's why the six feet rule and the social distancing is so important, because you have the opportunity to basically save a life if you are a carrier. And since you don't know that you're a carrier, we don't know if we're carrying anything at this point at all, the safe distance rule is very, very important. It makes a lot of sense. And I just want to really thank the healthcare community for coming up with that. But this is not anything new. In past history, we've done this with other pandemics that we've had from throughout the country, throughout the world. We've used this, and this works. Now, make sure you understand this, and make sure you talk to your grandparents and your elders over 60 years old. Now, these are high-risk people that we don't know that these are the only people that can really get sick. But they know that these are the people that have high risk, and understand that there's probably some more information when it comes to high-risk people that can be found if you go and you research it, okay? So high-risk people, grandparents, elders over 60 years, people with low immune systems, I'm sure there's a lot of people that you know, and make sure you use those steps to protect the people that you love, even your friends. If you have friends, people you around, people in church, that's why we are doing the things that we're doing. And it makes more sense now, right? Because it has a purpose behind why we're doing it the way we're doing it. And it just shows you that, people are really putting a lot of effort into this to try to help ourselves. Okay, let's talk about limited gatherings of 10 people or less. In the last emergency declaration, we had 25. We're going to amend that and take that down. We highly recommend now limited gatherings to 10 or less, okay? And so try to limit that. We know that when you go into stores, the stores are going to have their own procedures with this. They're going to work this out. Walmart and all the stores are going to work this out. The restaurants are already doing it now because they're all doing drive-ins, and they're picking it up. And they're doing a good job. I can see that in Baker and in the surrounding areas that people really are following this, and this is going to keep you safe. You get a chance to stay in your car, you can pick up. When you go to the gas station, you pump in the gas yourself. So everyday life is going to go on. When you are walking the track, with a group of people, you can walk with 10 people, but make sure you keep the distance. The 6 feet rule. So these limits help to prevent the spread. This is another reason that we help to prevent the spread. We're closing the groups in, and we're bringing it in a little bit now so we can make sure we can make it safer and we're praying that the cases don't grow, but if they do, we're trying to make sure that we can stop that spread. This is all going back to fighting the curving the spread of the disease here. That's what we're doing here, and limited those gatherings to 10 or less. We're sure this is going to help. Now, when you go to the store, they're going to have, a place like Walmart is a big place. Okay, so they're gonna work out how many people can come in the store and go in there. We're gonna leave that up to them and how they do that. And the smaller the size, the less people that should be in the store. Okay, and so we're asking the businesses to help us to enforce this. We're asking you guys to help us with this. Because if we work together with this stuff, I'm telling you, we can win on this, and we can at least give ourselves a chance to help the people that's going to be vulnerable to this disease, even though some of us might have strong immune systems and we may never get sick but carry it. Okay, so I hope that makes a little sense. Okay, I want to bring the slide up when we're talking about the volunteer to shelter in place. Okay, so now, I just highly recommend that we're doing this. This is not an order to do this. We highly recommend that you volunteer to shelter in place and only leave the house and only go places when you really have to. When you're going to volunteer or when you're going to the grocery store. Basically, when you go into the doctor or a medical center or to the emergency room, you go to those places when you're going to pick up food or when you're going to work. Also, when you want to go work out, I highly recommend that you go work out early in the morning when nobody is around. You can walk the track in Baker and be safe there. And you just want to get outside and get you some fresh air. You can work in your yard. You can do that. But if you don't have to go anywhere, stay home and stay with your family where you don't have to run into other people. Just stay there. I highly recommend that. We're not telling you, we're not ordering you to do that. But if you got things that you have to do, go do them. But be intentional about not just being out there. And here's the other thing I want you guys to help me with. We know these kids are out of school. You gotta keep an eye on your kids. If you're at work, please try to leave them with somebody, these teenagers that's walking around. But if we go ahead and we educate them on the stuff that we're talking about right now, they can practice this. But if they don't have to be going anywhere, they're not going to the library or they're not doing anything educational, because there's all kind of educational things that they can be doing. Let's get some control on our kids, because those kids will go out and they'll come back into the house and you might have your mom there, your dad there, your grandpa there. And remember, we talked about the social distancing. We have to practice that. The kids will follow what we do. We role model it, they'll follow exactly what we do. So when we talk about shelter in place, it's a volunteer deal. I just highly recommend it. I'm not saying that that's what we're doing. I just want you to be able to, if you don't have nowhere to go, if you don't have anything emergency to do, let's just not be out to be out. But you can't come out around your house and talk to your neighbors, do the 6-foot thing, but you just try to keep it down to not being around groups or anything like that. So I hope this information is helping you. If you understand the purpose behind the information, and it just makes more sense to me. And this is what we're getting from the prayer. So make sure that the conversation, pastors, with your people in your churches, is the information that we're putting out right now. No new information, just explained a little together. We'll be right back.